Hey, what's up, boxing fans? This is the Rope a Dope Report. I'm your host, Chris Carlson, and I'm back again with another video. This won't be a prediction video here for Chris Algieri against Errol Spence. Really looking forward to this fight. It'll be the main event on the upcoming PBC on NBC card coming up this weekend, Saturday, of course. Brooklyn, Barclays. What's up, Brooklyn? I'm looking forward to this fight, man, because it really is a great test of where Errol Spence is, and another great opportunity for Chris Algieri. You know, Algieri kind of made his bones on Friday night fights. That Emmanuel Taylor fight really stood out. Got him on to fight Provodnikov, and obviously that first round, man, didn't look good for Algieri. Got, his eye all blew up. His eye was all swollen up in the first round. Got knocked down, took a knee against Provodnikov. Not a good start, but he, got on his skill in his boxing game and stuck that jab in Provodnikov's face and remained busy and ended up stealing it. Just got it done. Close fight and got it done. It was a great fight. Obviously, Algieri, the more experienced guy, just mentioned Emmanuel Taylor, a solid guy, nothing special. Provodnikov, Pacquiao, Amir Khan, pretty decent guy in his last fight. I thought he needed that, the Eric Bonet fight. And in that fight, especially, he got a new trainer, because we all know his old trainer in that Pacquiao fight talking about let him out of the cage, I'm going to wait and let him out of the cage. That was horrible. And Chris, being the smart guy he is, realized it real quick, because after all, it's not like he's been boxing since he was a kid, so he probably thought that guy was a good trainer, He got John David Jackson. And it seems like they clearly were going to come forward more. So I guess they're kind of trying to find that boxing and brawling and pressure, kind of a mixture, right? The inside-outside game, which I think, especially when you don't have a ton of power, but you have speed and you have athleticism and a pretty good chin, even though Pacquiao knocked him down a bunch, he still kept getting up. I think that'll suit him well, in this fight and just in general. So clearly he's had a much tougher schedule thus far. Spence is still, under 20 fights, just trying to get to that place. So it's a great test. You look at Amir Khan and that speed and power, especially pop, but speed, right, and combination. But he couldn't knock down, Algieri a bunch like Pacquiao did. So we're gonna find out right here where Errol Spence is. Is he right around that Amir Khan level? Is he Pacquiao level? Is he right in between that? We're going to find out. Obviously, it's not a done deal after this fight regardless, but it's a great measuring stick. Great measuring stick. And Spence, he's fought some decent guys as a prospect, but nothing that'll really get you ready for a true test like this. But he looks the part, right? He definitely looks the part. Let's start with Errol Spence. He's a southpaw, very fast. He's got a good jab, and I like that he jabs to the stomach. That's key. You don't really see that. It looks like he's got decent defense. Some of this stuff, he walks down a lot of guys thus far. Not all of them, but he does walk down a lot of guys. So it's tough to really tell. He hasn't really shown his full game in my mind. It seems like, though, he's a great body puncher, right? I have noticed, I mentioned the decent defense. I have noticed he can get hit by straight right hands and overhand rights, and that falls right into where Algieri is, so that'll be interesting. And another thing, I think he'll come out patient, but at some point I do see him trying to make a statement. He's been asking for a big fight. This is a big fight, and he's got to watch out not to fall into his punches, because at times he does fall into his punches, and that'll set you up, for a good boxer, counter puncher, jabber, a guy that is smart and has his stuff together. That could get you in some trouble. Not to say he's going to get knocked down, or knocked out, but you lose the round. You know what I'm saying? Of course, many of us know the legend behind Errol Spence, Errol. Giving Mayweather not the business, but giving him a hell of a sparring session. But obviously, talking about giving the business, the legend has it that he knocked out Broner, or at least hurt him really bad, knocked him down in sparring. But that's sparring. We heard all about Lamont Peterson and Floyd Mayweather in their sparring session, and Bradley said, "Yeah, that's nice and all, but I'm just gonna beat you." Still a good fight, but Bradley beat him clearly. Algieri-wise, like I said, pressure. He can pressure now. He's got a good jab, good overhand right. Does move his body, I think pretty well. The head and the upper body movement. I don't know what he's gonna fight like this. My guess is he'll probably lean more to movement and pivot type stuff. Because, like I said, it does seem like Spence liked to walk guys down. Slowly but surely. I think it'll be in the middle of the ring, though. I think they'll be circling and pivoting each other more than likely. That Khan fight, just looking at that, Khan was able to land left hooks, jab, nice right hands, and of course, that uppercut, man. That vicious uppercut that he landed on Algieri, man. And he stood up to it. He definitely stood up to it. So, man. I'm just going further on Algieri. He's got fairly quick hands too, I would say. Got some of that, fast twitch stuff. He's pretty good at that. And he'll have to stay fairly busy in this one. Which he did against Khan. He'll have to do that. He'll definitely have to do that. He's going to take some punishment doing it. But I do think at maybe in the last minute of rounds, that's where he may have to bring it on the inside and come in there with that head movement so you don't get hit with 2 and 3 punches and it completely stops you in the tracks. And maybe get more punches off on the inside and crowd them. That's the one thing. We haven't seen Spence against a high level, even a second level contender type guy at welterweight, and which is what I think Algieri is. And we haven't seen him crowded. We haven't seen anybody come to him. Now, I'm not saying Algieri is this great pressure fighter, and he's got to be careful doing that, but we haven't seen that, so we don't know if he can do it for sure. Just like outboxing people. Sometimes people, he'll outbox him. Well, I don't know. A lot of people think Adrian Broner can just outbox people. He doesn't really do that much when a guy really comes forward and is good at it. So I think we'll see a blend of styles from Algieri and Spence, for that matter. But overall, I'm kind of back and forth in this one because of the Errol Spence unknowns. There are some things that are unknown, but the things that we do know, the guy looks the part. Like I said, the jab to the stomach is very underrated, and I love it. I love that, and I hope we see more of that in boxing because it's a great, great punch. But I'm going to go with just overall accuracy from Spence. And I think he'll take, because he knows where he's at, right? I think he'll be one of those guys. This is where you find out what level can they raise their level up at this point now and just really put on a show. And I think he'll put on a show, but it'll be competitive. Very competitive. I wouldn't doubt if he drops Algieri, and that's what I like to see. Like I was mentioning the Khan-Pacquiao thing, you could see Khan hit him with pretty much everything, including the kitchen sink. And it didn't really slow Algieri down that much. Whereas Pacquiao, even though he kept coming, he fought hard, Pacquiao was knocking him down kind of left and right. So I'm looking forward to see where Errol Spence is. And for Chris Algieri, it's a big spot on national TV. And if he gets this win, he's in another big fight. So I'm going to go with Spence by decision. But I do think it'll be very, very competitive. I think he'll have to make some adjustments, Errol Spence I'm speaking of, in the fight to be able to beat a guy like Algieri. Anyway, we're going to go in more detail. You'll get a little bit more in-depth prediction and preview and debate kind of back and forth with some people as well on the Rope-A-Dope Radio podcast this Wednesday, 6 on the West. It'll be live 6 on the West, 9 on the East, and 2 UK time. Big shouts out to the UK. So yeah, and also, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. What's your prediction to this one? And also, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit subscribe. Like I said, leave a comment. Follow me at Twitter at on Twitter at Rope-A-Dope Radio as well for boxing news and boxing banter. Peace. Enjoy the fights this weekend, guys.